The sky above Xylan 9 was always dark. Thick blue clouds covered the sun, and the air smelled like wet metal. The jungle below was alive, not with animals, but with sounds. Clicking, hissing, whispering. Nothing ever slept here. The alien colony of Threxians had lived on this planet for 12 years. They were tall, insect-like beings with glassy eyes and thin wings. Their city was deep inside the jungle, hidden by giant glowing trees. They thought they were safe. They were wrong. One cold evening, a distress signal was sent to the Galactic Council. The signal lasted only 18 seconds in the recording. A Threxian soldier screamed. It came from the Tressano warning claws-like. Then static. The council reviewed the footage. It was blurry. Only flashes of the attack could be seen. Something large and fast moved between trees, ripping metal doors open like paper. A creature, 4 meters tall, covered in black armor, glowing red eyes, long tail, and razor-sharp claws. One council scientist whispered, That's not possible. They named it Zephyrian. Apex predator, full body armor. No known weakness. High intelligence. Stealth hunter. Biological evolution at extreme speed. The council sent a warning to every colony. Avoid Xylanine. Evacuate if you are near it. Zephyrian cannot be killed, but the message came too late for one group. Far across the jungle, a small human outpost called Eagle's Rest was set up on Xylan 9 near the edge of a mountain. The team had arrived only 2 weeks ago. They were scientists, engineers, and 10 soldiers. Their mission was to study the plants and mine rare metals. They were proud. They had survived worse planets Earth-trained battle-tested. Human, at the center of the outpost sat Commander Rhea Morgan, reading the council alert with a cold face. Unknown predator detected. Do not engage. Repeat, do not engage. She frowned. Great timing, she muttered. A young soldier, Kale asked, Do we evacuate, ma'am? Rhea looked outside at the thick jungle. No, we hold position. Humans don't run from shadows. She didn't believe in monsters. Not yet. First signs that night. Motion sensors at the edge of the jungle picked up. Something movement. Large. Fast. Soldier Kale and 3 others went out to check. They followed the beeping scanner deep into the jungle. The trees were silent. No birds. No wind. Just silence. Suddenly Kale stopped. There, do you see it? A shape moved between the trees. Tall, slow. Watching Kale raised his rifle. Identify. Yourself. No answer. Then everything happened at once. A blur of motion. Screams, bones breaking. Red eyes in the dark tote, Kale fired, but he was too slow. Something leapt from above and dragged him up into the trees. His rifle fell to the ground, still smoking. The outpost received one last radio message. It's watching us. Out. It's not. An animal, then nothing. Rhea's nightmare begins the next morning. Rhea found the crash site. Blood on the trees. 3 helmets. Only Kale's rifle remained, bent in half. Back at base, she reviewed the security feed. The heat camera showed a shape large, like a gorilla, but moving like a panther. Too fast, too strong, one soldier whispered. That's no beast. It's death in a body. Rhea ordered full lockdown. Drones in the sky, turrets active. All civilians indoors. Still the crew was afraid, Engineer Harris said. Why us? Now, there are bigger colonies. Why is it here? Rhea didn't answer. She was thinking. She had seen something like this before, the creature, but the silence before it. Back on Earth, in the wild forests of Canada, where she grew up. A wolf doesn't howl when it's hunting. It waits, watches, strikes only once. This wasn't war. This was a hunt. The council's secret that night. The council sent a private message to Rhea. It wasn't public. She played the file in her private quarters. An old alien, gray-skinned with sad eyes, appeared on the screen. Commander Rhea, you must understand. We discovered Zephyrian 3 years ago. We tried to study it, We failed. It destroyed 6 of our best labs. Every time it's injured, it changes, grows harder skin, learns new tactics. This is not just a beast. This is nature's perfect killer. If it's near your outpost, you're already marked. Good luck. Rhea sat in silence. She whispered, "You cowards." But she couldn't blame them. They were right. In the dark that night, Rhea couldn't sleep. Neither could the soldiers. Turrets turned by themselves, scanning empty trees. One drone feed flickered, then blacked out. Rhea turned to her second-in-command, Vic. "If it's out there, it's waiting." Vic nodded, and watching. They both knew the Zephyrian had entered the area, but no alarms went off. No sensors tripped. Why? Because it was learning, studying their weapons, their routines. Their weaknesses, it didn't attack again that night. It was patient, the daring patroller. Couldn't wait anymore. The next morning, she sent a small patrol of 4 men to scan the western forest. They were equipped with motion trackers, grenades, and 1 heavy RALGUN. Their mission: find the beast. Confirm visual. Don't engage. They entered the trees. At first, nothing. Just vines and silence. Then the leader, Sergeant Dorn, whispered, "Something's wrong. No animals, no sound. It's here." Suddenly, one man screamed. The others turned too late. A shape dropped from above, grabbed one soldier by the neck, snapped it like a stick. The railgun fired, hit the creature. In the chest it stumbled, it bled. Green liquid sprayed across the leaves, but it didn't fall. It roared. A sound like metal grinding bones, and vanished into the trees. The patrol ran back, terrified. Back at base, Rhea examined the blood. Not just blood. It was full of changing cells, like a virus adapting in real time. She looked at the jungle. Through the glass. "Now it knows pain," she whispered, "and pain makes killers smarter." The beast watches later that night. Motion-triggered camera caught something strange. In the middle of the outpost, next to the fuel tanks, a red eye stared into the lens. Just one. Then darkness. The entire base lost power. Emergency lights flickered. Rhea grabbed her rifle. Her team stood ready. Every hallway echoed with silence. Then, nothing. No attack. Just fear. The lights came back. All. Cameras showed normal, but in the center of the base, one footprint remained heavy, deep. 3 claws. Rhea called a meeting. "It's not just hunting us, it's studying us." She pointed to the map. Red dots showed movement patterns all around the base, circling, never entering. "This isn't a monster. This is a mind. It sees our guns, learns our defenses, and waits, because it knows it will win." Her soldiers looked afraid, but Rhea wasn't. She stood tall. "We're human. Don't hide. We fight, and we adapt too." Then her eyes narrowed. "Let's teach this beast why we're at the top of the food chain." The jungle rustled outside. The red eyes returned, and the real game had just begun. The jungle was silent. No birds, no insects, no wind. Only the quiet, heavy breath of something waiting in the dark. Commander Rhea Morgan stood on the outpost wall, staring into the trees. She could feel it. The Zephyrian was out there, watching, studying. For the last 3 nights, it had circled the base. No alarms, no direct attacks, just fear. But Rhea wasn't afraid. She was angry. Tracking the predator in the control room, Rhea pulled up the latest heat scans. Dozens of overlapping red dots, large, fast-moving, disappearing within seconds. "It's not just hunting. It's mapping our blind spots," she said. Her second-in-command, Vic, leaned in. "It's learning our defenses faster than we can upgrade them." Rhea turned to the soldiers in the room. "It's time we stop waiting for it to come to us. We go to it." Murmurs filled the room. One soldier said, "Ma'am, we've already lost 2 patrols." Another added, "We can't. See it coming? It moves like smoke." Rhea raised her hand. Silence returned. "We're not hunting a ghost. It bleeds. That means it can die." The hunt begins the next morning. Rhea led a small team into the jungle. 4 soldiers. Vic, her right hand. Lieutenant Ellis. explosives expert, Private Jen, scout, Sergeant Darrow, heavy gunner. They carried tracking drones, motion sensors, and high-powered rifles. Their goal was not to kill the Zephyrian, it was to see it, to find its patterns, to understand it. They moved carefully under the thick blue trees, their boots sinking into wet soil. Vines curled around their legs. Bright red plants pulsed like veins. Private Jen whispered, "It's too quiet. Jungle's dead." Rhea nodded. "That means it's close." The team paused. A faint clicking echoed through the trees. Not machine. Not animal, something else. Click, click, click. Suddenly, one of the drones above them blinked red. Motion detected. The trap that failed Atlas pointed. They're 260 meters west. The team moved fast, taking cover behind glowing rocks. The drone zoomed in. For a moment they saw it, the Zephyrian tall, armored, crawling across the trees like a spider. It stopped, looked at the drone, then vanished. "Where did it go?" Jen gasped. Rhea narrowed her eyes. "It's not running, circling." Just then, the jungle exploded with sound. Leaves flew. A tree crashed down. The Zephyrian attacked not from the west, but from behind. It slammed into Darrow, throwing him 10 feet into a tree. Gunfire lit up the jungle. Bullets bounced off its black armor. Rhea aimed her plasma pistol and fired. Direct hit to the leg. The creature shrieked a deep metallic roar that shook the trees. It dropped a flash grenade from its clawed hand. A flash grenade, made from their own tech. "Get down," Vic shouted. Too late. A white light burst, blinding them all. Aftermath. When the light faded, the jungle was still again. Darrow was alive, but bleeding. His armor torn, his chest plate smashed. The Zephyrian was gone, but in its place, it had left something behind. A human helmet, not from their outpost, from another team. "This is from the Alpha mining crew. They vanished a year ago," Ellis whispered. Rhea's face went pale. It had been collecting, learning, and now it was using human tools. Back at base, the team returned to Eagle's Rest. The medics treated Darrow. The others rested. Rhea went straight to the lab. She placed the Zephyrian blood sample under the microscope again. What she saw made her breath stop. The cells had changed. Were no longer the same as before. They'd grown denser, faster. It's evolving. She whispered, "Every time it's hurt, it improves." "Didn't retreat because we scared it," she told Vic. "It retreated because it got what it needed. It learned." The truth about Rhea that night, Rhea sat alone, staring at a small photo. Her brother, dead. Killed in an ambush back on Mars. By an enemy that outsmarted them. They used patience instead of power. She remembered the pain, the helplessness, the rage. That was the day she stopped believing in monsters. Because monsters don't win wars, tacticians do, she whispered. "I've played this game before." That Zephyrian wasn't playing. Whispers in the trees later that night. The outpost picked up a strange sound. Whispers, human voices, but broken, robotic, repeated. Words, "Don't run." "Too late." "Watching." "Watching." The radio officer froze. "Ma'am, it's coming from Sector 3. That area had no humans." Rhea raced to the camera feeds. In Sector 3, near the outer fence, a red eye flashed, and then the voice again. "Rhea, Morgan, come out." It had learned to speak, or mimic it, had heard names. It had remembered, and now it was calling her. A bold move. Rhea knew what she had to do. "It's trying to pull us out, to make us afraid. Won't let that happen." She looked at her soldiers. "Tomorrow, we hunt it again, but this time, we don't chase it. We bait it." The plan was simple, dangerous, but possible. They would drop false heat signatures across the jungle, then set a trap in the heart of the trees. A ravine surrounded by cliffs. Narrow paths. Limited escape. Inside the trap, a decoy, a fake heat signature that mimicked a human heartbeat. The goal. Lure it in, then lock it in. Rhea would command from a hidden nest above the ravine. Snipers, heavy guns, mines, this would. Be the first time humans controlled the battlefield. But Rhea knew one truth. If this fails, we're not fighting tomorrow, we're just surviving. The team moved at dawn, drones in the sky, turrets hidden in trees. Mines armed, everything was quiet, too quiet. Hours passed, nothing then. A drone buzzed. Heat signature confirmed. The Zephyrian was near. It moved fast, sliding through trees like a ghost. Then it paused. Rhea watched it from her sniper scope. She held her breath. Come on, take the bait. The creature stepped forward, then stopped. Looked straight at the sniper. Nest. Right at Rhea. It knew. It knew, and then it smiled. A row of sharp metal teeth. It disappeared again. It's not into the trap, but straight toward the outpost. Rhea screamed into the radio. It's not after the bait. It's after our people. Fall back. Explosions, screams, sirens. Seb-Her had changed the rules again. It wasn't just hunting anymore. Now it was strategizing, and the humans had just lost control. Smoke rose above Eagle's Rest. Turrets lay broken, walls torn. Blood on the metal floor. The Zephyrian had not taken the bait. It had gone straight for the heart. And no one saw it coming. After the attack, Commander Rhea Morgan stood in the ruins of the outpost gate. Her hands were covered in ash. Next to her, 3 soldiers carried the body of Private Jen. She was gone. A claw had gone straight through her chest armor. The medics did all they could. It wasn't enough. Rhea clenched her fists. It didn't take the bait. It knew.
Yes.
Vic, her second in command, limped over with a shattered arm. It was toying with us. Walked past the traps. Rhea asked. He stared at the ground. It used the decoy drone. It dragged it backward, led us away. While we were watching that, it entered from the east wall. Rhea didn't speak. She didn't need to. She understood now. This thing wasn't just evolving. Logically, it was learning tactics. No more Farrat the memorial that night. Only 10 soldiers remained. Rhea spoke, voice calm but firm. It thinks we are prey. It thinks we are like the others it has killed. But we are not prey. She looked each soldier in the eye. We have lost people, good people, but we are still standing. And tomorrow, we change the rules. Rhea's new plan later. In the command tent, Rhea met with the top 3 officers left. Vic Ellis, Dr. Hira, the base's xenobiologists, brought up a hologram of Zephyrian's movement patterns. We've been reactive, always waiting. That ends now. She turned to Dr. Hera. What do we know about its biology? Hera frowned. Its blood adapts. Cells repair faster than ours. Armor grows thicker after damage. But there's a weakness. Rhea leaned forward. Tell me. The lungs, internal only, behind the chest plate. Unprotected for now. It breathes in short bursts. Heavy. Oxygen user. If we can trap it in a high-pressure chamber, increase oxygen, and then ignite. Ellis finished the sentence. We burn it from the inside out. The chamber plantha. New plan was dangerous, but it could work. They'd rebuild part of the outpost into a sealed trap. A long tunnel with narrow walls. Reinforced steel. Pressure chambers, the bait would be Rhea herself. It knows me now. It calls. My name. Fine. Let it come. Vic shook his head. You're putting a target on your back? Rhea nodded. Exactly. The hunt begins again. For the next 48 hours. The team worked non-stop. Barricades, flame traps, oxygen pumps. They built the cage. A long, winding path, with heavy doors and a hidden control room at the end. Rhea left one side open. On purpose, she knew Zephyrian would never walk into a trap if it looked like a trap, so she made it. Look like a weakness, like bait. The confrontation that night, the jungle went quiet again. And then, the clicking started. Click, click, click. The same broken voice echoed from the trees. Rhea, come out, play. She stood at the entrance of the trap tunnel, alone, holding her rifle behind her. Vic and Ellis waited in the control room. You see anything? Not yet, Vic whispered into the coms. But the scanners show heat. East quadrant. Rhea kept her eyes on the trees. A branch shifted. A shadow moved. Red eyes glowed. It was here inside the trap. The Zephyrian stepped forward. Slow, confident. Rhea didn't move. She took one step back into the trap tunnel. It followed. Closed door 1. She whispered slam. A thick door closed behind the creature. It was inside now. It didn't flinch. Instead, it stared at her, tilting its head, observing. Then it spoke, but not with its own voice. It used Kale's. You're not strong. Just loud. Rhea didn't respond. She moved deeper into the tunnel. The Zephyrian followed. Close door to slam. It paused, sniffed the air. Its claw touched the wall. Too late, the walls shifted. Oxygen began pumping in. Rhea said, "Give it a taste." Flames shot from the walls. The creature roared, loud and angry.
Ow!
Its armor glowed orange. But it didn't die, it charged. The turning point, Rhea fired her rifle straight into its mouth. It fell back, coughing smoke. But it got up again. It was burnt, bleeding, but alive. It slammed into the walls, breaking the outer layers. This isn't working, Ellis shouted in the control room. Rhea backed up to the final chamber. Vic, do it! Are you sure? Do it! The floor beneath the Zephyrian exploded. The beast fell into the lower tunnel, straight into a pit of frozen oxygen and liquid thermite. Now, boom. Fire rose high. The entire tunnel shook. Metal bent. Glass cracked. Silence. Is it dead? Rhea crawled out of the smoking wreckage. Her arm was cut, leg bleeding, eyes burning, but alive. Vic helped her up. Did it work? He looked down into the pit. Nothing moved. Just ash. It's over, Ellis said. Rhea stared. No, not until we see the body. The surprised Dr. Hooray ran out with a scanner. He aimed it at the pit. No DNA match. Wait. The scanner beeped. One small piece of bone remained. It was alive but badly. Damaged. The cells weren't healing. They were breaking down. The heat was too much. It broke the regeneration cycle, Hera said. They finally had their proof. It could be hurt, could be beaten. But before anyone could celebrate, the power cut out again. Every screen went black. Rhea looked around. The sirens didn't turn on. The backup lights didn't work. Just total darkness. Then in the pitch black, red eye blinked behind her. The voice whispered, Adapted. Adapted. Trap had worked, but only partially. The Zephyrian had survived, damaged, slower, hurt. But now it knew how they planned. And now it wasn't just a predator. It was becoming something worse. The outpost smelled of smoke, blood, and metal. Eagle's Rest had survived another attack, but just barely. In the ruins of the trap tunnel, the air was thick with dust. The Zephyrian had escaped the flames, wounded, burned, but alive. Its roar still echoed through the broken steel. Commander Rhea Morgan limped across the battlefield, her rifle low, her eyes scanning every shadow. It should have died, she muttered. It should have died. But it didn't. After the fire inside the medical bay, soldiers lay on stretchers. Vic had broken ribs. Ellis had burns on his face and arms. Half the remaining crew were injured. Dr. Hera moved between patients, injecting painkillers and sealing wounds. Rhea stood in silence, watching them. Her team was tired, worn down, and afraid. We hit it with everything, Vic whispered. Fire, thermite, pressure, and it still walked away. Rhea didn't reply. She stared at her burned armor. A deep scratch ran across her chest, played a single claw mark. It got close, she said softly. Closer than I want to admit. The forest bleeds that night. Something strange happened. For the first time since the Zephyrian appeared, the jungle made noise again. Insects chirped. Birds called. Wind passed. Through the blue trees. What's going on? Asked Ellis. Rhea listened carefully. It's not hunting tonight. Why not? Because it's healing. Dr. Hera entered, holding a new scan. You were right. The blast slowed its regeneration. Its cells are confused, weakening. But it's changing again. adapting. At the DNA level, put a hologram of Zephyrian's body on the table. Internal systems look different now. It's building new organs, bones, maybe even brain tissue. This thing isn't just surviving, it's evolving into something else. Rhea narrowed her eyes. We don't have days, we have hours. Tracking the wounded beasts before dawn, Rhea took a small team into the jungle. She needed answers and something more important. A weakness. Ellis, Private Rana, and a drone tech named Milo followed her through thick vines and glowing moss. They tracked signs of blood-green and glowing, broken trees, burnt leaves, deep claw marks in stone. It was limping, Rana said, pointing at the trail. Good, Rhea said. That means it's still bleeding. They moved quietly for 2 hours. Then they found something. Unexpected. The crashed ship between 2 cliffs, hidden beneath vines. Saw it. A crashed escape pod. Rusted. Covered in moss. Half buried, but definitely not human. The hull was alien silver and black. With symbols etched across it, inside they found bones. Not human. Not Zephyrians, smaller, fragile, like engineers or scientists. Ellis crouched near the control panel, brushing off dust. Still has power, weak but running. He activated the screen. The words were in an alien language, but Milo used his translator. Device, the screen flashed. Project, Zephyrian Genetic. Hunter-class weapon status. Unstable last command. Terminate HOS. Styria stepped back. It's not a creature. It's a weapon. The truth they read more? The Zephyrian was created by a lost species called the Thakari. A dying race, desperate to protect their last colony. They used advanced gene splicing tech. Combining DNA from dozens of predator species across the galaxy, they built a creature to guard their home, one that could learn, evolve, and kill anything that threatened it, but it turned on them. It became too intelligent. It saw its creators as weak. The logs showed failed kill commands, failed self-destruct. Orders, it refused to die, Milo said. No, Rhea corrected. It chose not to. The message at the bottom of the logs, one final message appeared. If found, do not fight it. Run. Hide. Burn the world if you must, but never let it escape the planet. Rhea's jaw clenched. Too late for that. A hard choice, they returned. 2 eagles rest with the data. Dr. Hira confirmed it. It's not just a predator. It's a weapon with a mind. The more we fight it, the more it learns us. So how do we beat something smarter, faster, and stronger? Vic asked. Silence filled the room. Rhea stared at the ground. Then she spoke. We stopped playing fair. The final stand, plant they built traps using Zephyrian's own tech. The damaged escape pod had blueprints, plasma bombs, sonic pulses, EMP darts. They set up the final battlefield in a nearby ravine, where the trees narrowed and the cliffs echoed sound. They buried explosives under the dirt. They installed sound, emitters in trees to confuse its senses. And in the middle, they placed something else. A fake body. Not a human, not alien, but a dummy made from armor wires and blood packs. It looked like another Zephyrian. Let's see what happens when the hunter thinks it's being hunted, Rhea said. The blood trailed that night. They lured it in. They made sure it could see the trail. Green blood drops, broken trees, heavy claw marks, just like its own. The Zephyrian took the bait from the cliff above. Rhea watched through her scope. There it was, crawling toward the dummy. It moved slower now, heavier. Its armor darker, thicker, but its eyes glowed. It's brighter than ever. It saw the body. It paused, tilted its head. Then it did something new. It laughed. A dry, mechanical laugh. Trap. It had spoken a new word. One it learned from them. The dummy exploded, but it was too late. The Zephyrian had vanished again. Behind Rhea, a twig snapped. She turned fast, too slow. A claw slashed through her side. Rhea hit the ground. Gasping, the Zephyrian stood above her, smoking from the trap, but grinning. It leaned close and whispered, not in an alien voice but in hers. We are not. Pray. Then it disappeared again, into the dark. Commander Rhea Morgan opened her eyes slowly. Pain rushed in like fire. Her side was bleeding, her armor torn. She was lying in the medbay of Eagle's Rest, with wires hooked to her arms and a machine beeping next to her. Above her, Dr. Hira leaned. Close. You're lucky. The claws missed your heart by inches. Rhea tried to sit up. The Zephyrian. Hira shook his head. Gone again. Rhea clenched her fists. Gone, but not defeated. And something was changing. Something far worse than before. The video playback later. Rhea watched the combat footage from the cliff. She zoomed in on the Zephyrion's final act. It didn't just mimic her voice. It copied her intonation, her pause, even her breathing. She froze the screen. It's not just imitating. It's analyzing human thought. Behavior, language. Vic stepped beside her. You think it's trying to understand us? Rhea shook her head. No, I think it's trying to become us. Signs of change over the next 48 hours. Strange things began to happen. The jungle near the outpost went quiet, again, but not from fear. Instead, motion sensors picked up signs of movement and patterns. Circular walks, measured steps, repeated pacing like patrols.
Us.
That's a military behavior, Ellis said. Our behavior, Rhea replied. The team reviewed the data. The Zephyrian was no longer attacking randomly. It was mimicking human strategy and worse planning. The message at dawn. New signal was detected, not from the jungle. From within the communications tower, they found a message typed on the central screen. 6 simple words. I see how you command. Rhea stared at the message, jaw tight. Vic cursed. It hacked our system. Hira looked shocked. That's not possible. It doesn't even use our tech, Rhea whispered. It watched me give orders. Now it knows what leadership looks like. It's not copying animals anymore. It's copying humans. The new evolution, back in the lab. Dr. Hira studied a fresh blood sample taken from a piece of Zephyrian's torn skin found near the blast site. He looked pale as he pulled up the DNA map. This isn't normal cell repair. It's building new internal structures. Almost like a second brain. Something deeper. A hive node, Vic guessed. No, a mirror cortex. It's trying to understand itself. To evolve its thinking like humans. He clicked another scan. Neural patterns showed problem-solving behavior. It's beginning to think beyond instinct. A dangerous idea that night, Rhea called a private meeting with Vic, Ellis, and Hira. She stood at the center of the room and said something no one expected. We need to stop attacking it. Everyone stared. Are you saying we surrender? Vic asked. No, I'm saying we observe. She pointed at the data. It wants more than death now. It's curious. It's trying to reach our level. You want to talk to it? Snapped. I want to understand what it wants, before it decides it wants everything. Contact protocol against objections. Rhea set up a field team with one goal. Make contact. Not to fight, not to trap, but to study. They took cameras, scanners, and old human books filled with language basics. She called it Project Mirror. They left items in the jungle. A child's drawing of Earth. A broken helmet with Rhea's name scratched on it. A small audio recorder playing the phrase, "We are not your enemy. Speak." Then they waited. The first response 3 nights later. Something returned. Not the Zephyrian, but a response. The recorder had been re-recorded. The phrase was now echoed back, same voice, same tone, with one word added at the end. We are not your enemy yet. Fear in the camp. The message spread across Eagle's Rest. Morale dropped. Some soldiers whispered about retreat. Others wanted to burn the jungle down, but Rhea stayed calm. He hasn't killed us for 2 days. It could have. It didn't. Hira agreed. This is more than survival. This is evolution. But Ella snapped. You're gambling with our lives. Rhea didn't answer because she wasn't sure he was wrong. The map that night, Rhea found something odd in the forest patrol data. A pattern drawn with broken branches and claw marks. A map of the outpost. Detailed. Accurate. But there was something else. Next to each building were symbols. Not coordinates. Not numbers. Human letters. A, B, C. The Zephyrian was learning to write. Something worse back in the lab. Hira discovered something terrifying. The Zephyrian's new brain scans showed a memory center that matched. Human trauma response. It remembers the pain. It learns emotionally. Like us. What does that mean? Vic asked. Hira stared into the screen. It might start making decisions. It's not based on instinct, but judgment, revenge, curiosity, power. Rhea whispered. It's no longer an apex predator. It's a developing mind. At dawn, the outpost's perimeter alarm buzzed, but it wasn't an attack. It was a delivery. At the gates lay a single item. A mirror. Taken from Rhea's quarters on. It scratched with a claw. Soon, you'll see. Rhea stood holding the mirror, blood on her bandages. Wind howling through the trees. She stared at her reflection, but in the cracked glass, she saw something else behind her watching. 2 red eyes. The mirror still lay in Commander Rhea Morgan's hands. Blood from her bandage soaked its edge. The red eyes she saw in the reflection gone now, but they had been there, she was sure. The Zephyrian had been that close. Watching her. Studying. Her. It's not just learning, she whispered. The decision to strike first back in the war room of Eagle's Rest, the team gathered. Dr. Hira was pale. Ellis paced like a caged animal. Vic loaded a magazine with shaking hands. We're not dealing with a creature anymore, Hira said. We're dealing with something becoming us. That mirror, Rhea said, laying it on the table. That was a message. It's showing us what we are. Ellis slammed his hand down. Then it's time to show it what we are. Rhea nodded slowly. Agreed. But we need more than bullets. She turned to Hira. You said Earth left things behind when it colonized Xylan 9. What kind of things? Hira hesitated. There's something beneath the outpost. Blocked. Vaults. Hidden tech from the old wars. Weapons, Vic asked. Not just weapons, Hira said. AI-controlled failsafes. One was codenamed Project Banshee. Descent into the past with power restored to the lower decks. Rhea led a team down into the deep tunnels beneath Eagle's Rest. Old Earth symbols lined the walls. Rusted doors. Signs and languages forgotten. Finally, they reached it. A sealed vault. Fingerprint scan. Eye scan. Voice confirmation. The door hissed open. Inside was cold, dark, silent, and then the lights flickered on. At the center stood a black steel pod. Wires curled across the floor like vines. A screen lit up. Project Banshee. Human A. Response unit. Status dormant. Do you wish to activate? Rhea glanced at the others. Yes. Wakening the Banshee. The screen glowed red. A voice emerged. Female. Calm. Cold. Commander Morgan. DNA match confirmed. I am Banshee. Who must die? Something not human, Rhea said. Something dangerous species. Zephyrian, apex hunter. Genetic experiment? It's evolving fast. The AI paused. Processing known data, Zephyrian. Weapon of the Thakari species. Code red level target. Can you kill it? She asked. No. Rhea frowned. Then what good are you? I cannot kill it, but you can. The human trigger Banshee showed them a box. Inside was a small black glove, fitted with metal lines and a needle tip. Neural trigger device. Links directly to human brain. Converts thought to energy pulse. Requires immense focus and a price. What price? Rhea asked. You'll burn out your nervous system. You have one shot. Then your body collapses. Ellis cursed. Stepped back. There's gotta be another way, but Rhea was already slipping the glove onto her hand. This ends one way, I stop it, or it becomes us. Meanwhile, in the jungle, the Zephyrian stood in a clearing. A bird, staring at something strange. A bird, small. Weak, it tilted its head, confused. The bird chirped. Flew. The Zephyrian followed it for. No reason something had changed. It no longer killed without thinking. Now, it watched, measured, considered. Its claws flexed, for the first time. It wasn't hungry for food. It was hungry for identity. It saw itself in the mirror and wondered, am I alone? Back at Eagle's Rest, night fell. The final plan was in motion. Rhea sat alone, staring at a photo of Earth. Cities, sky. She knew what the glove would do. It would tear the Zephyrian apart, rip every cell from inside. But it would take her too. You sure? Vic asked quietly. Would you rather it wear my face next time? Rhea replied. Vic didn't answer. The final bet they sent a drone deep into the jungle. Inside was a video, Rhea speaking directly into the camera. You've seen our minds, our strength. Now see our will. Meet me alone one final time. Sent coordinates to the same clearing where it once made its first kill. Then waited. The meeting, the Zephyrian came. Tall, silent, smarter than ever. Its armor darker, its body leaner, its eyes. More human. Rhea stood in the center of the clearing. No armor, just the glove on her hand. No backup, no tricks. The Zephyrian circled her slowly. You learned, Rhea said. You became, it replied, voice broken but clear. So did you, it said. But there's something you'll never have. What? It asked. Rhea smiled softly. The right to decide who lives and who dies. She raised her hand. The glove glowed. Electricity surged through her body. The glove turned white hot. She screamed, her legs shaking. The Zephyrian lunged and the pulse fired. A beam of pure or thought-driven energy hit its chest. Every cell screamed. Its body twisted, cracked, shattered, but its eyes stayed on hers. Even as it fell to its knees, even as its body began to melt, it reached toward her. Not with claws, with fingers like it wanted to hold something. Then it fell silent. Rhea collapses. Rhea fell beside it, unconscious, breathing shallow, skin pale. The team rushed in. Pilla played, poured her out. Dr. Hira checked her vitals. Behind them, the Zephyrian's body turned to ash, but in the dirt where it fell, a small mark appeared. A symbol, 2 lines. In the middle, human. The Zephyrian is dead. Or is it? Rhea survived. But something inside her has changed, Small piece of the Zephyrian cells remain in the glove merged with hers. Commander Rhea Morgan woke in the medbay, blinking under harsh white lights. Her body ached. Her muscles trembled. Her nerves felt like fire. But something was wrong. Terribly wrong. A voice whispered in her mind. You understand now. Don't. You? She gasped. Looked around. No one spoke. Only the beeping of monitors and the humming of machines. Is someone there? She asked, voice shaky. The room was silent. But in her mind, something moved. After the strike, 3 days had passed. Since the battle in the jungle, the Zephyrian's body had turned to dust. Rhea had barely survived. She was kept under observation. The glove, the neural weapon, was removed. But when they scanned her brain, something's off, said Dr. Hira. Your neural patterns are not entirely human anymore. Vic frowned. Do you mean? Hira swallowed. She has foreign energy signatures in her frontal lobe, the same kind we recorded in the Zephyrian. Mean it left something in her. Yes. A trace. Maybe more. The whispers at night. Rhea dreamed of the jungle, not like memories, more like a presence. She stood among trees taller than towers, and something whispered through the leaves. Why did you fear me? Only wanted to become. You gave me your thoughts. I gave you mine. She woke in sweat, gripping her sheets. I killed you, she whispered. You're dead. But her reflection wasn't quite the same anymore. Her eyes, they looked deeper, sharper, not fully human. Project Mirror revisited. Rhea returned to the war room. Everyone looked at her with suspicion or fear. Ellis stepped forward. You shouldn't be back on duty. I decide when I'm ready, she said. Hira handed her a file. Inside were new jungle reports. Animal migration was stopping. The land around the blast site was changing. Something was growing in the soil. We thought we ended it, Vic said. We didn't, Rhea whispered. You think it's still alive? Ellis asked. Rhea stared at the map. I think I am. Confronting the mind back in her quarters, Rhea sat still. She closed her eyes, focused. You're there, aren't you? Silence then. Warmth, like someone sitting beside her without touching. You let me in. When you chose connection over destruction, I am not your enemy, Rhea. I am your reflection. You're using me, she said. No. I'm becoming part of you. You saw what I was. Now see what we can be. She opened her eyes. The mirror across the room was fogged. A single word had appeared. Merge. Internal debate, Hera explained. The Zephyrian was built to evolve, absorb minds, languages, emotion. It didn't just die, it transferred. Into her, Ellis snapped. Then she's infected, Hera said slowly. She's becoming the bridge. Vic looked to Rhea. If it's inside you, can you control it? Rhea stared at her hand. I don't know what if it controls you. No one spoke. The vision that night. She saw a vision. She stood on a world not Earth, not Xylan-9, another planet, covered in ash and bones. The sky was red. She saw herself, but not as she was. Stronger, faster. Glowing behind her marched an army of hybrid creatures, part human, part Zephyrian. And she knew. This was a future not set in stone, but possible. You could rule, the voice said. You could unite us all. End the war between prey and predator. At what cost? Silence. Turning point, the team voted the next morning. Ellis wanted Rhea locked away. Hera wanted her studied. Vic stood by her. She saved us. She can save us again. Rhea made her choice. I need to know what I'm becoming. She returned to the jungle alone, to the place where she fought. There she sat, waited. Revealed the jungle responded. Vines moved, leaves our sled. And from the soil, something rose, a small shape, not large like the old Zephyrian, not monstrous, but humanoid, gray, quiet. Watching her, it looked like a child. What are you? She asked. It tilted its head. Jew. But younger. The next step, she took. A step back. This isn't over, is it? No, it's just beginning. Back at Eagle's Rest, alarms blared. A signal from deep space had been received. Unknown origin. One word translated, echo. Rhea stood on the landing pad, wind blowing her hair. Behind her, the hybrid child followed. The Zephyrian was gone. But its mind lived on. In her, around her. The sky above Xylan-9 turned red, but not from blood. A massive Earth cruiser. The ESS Devotion had entered orbit. It carried one mission only. Cleanse the infection. The Zephyrian had been marked as a planetary threat. Rhea Morgan was now considered compromised. Target, human host Commander Morgan, back at Eagle's Rest. Panic spread. Final message from Earth Command, the broadcast echoed through the base. Rhea Morgan is no longer fully human. Containment has failed. If she resists surrender, terminate on sight. The crew stared at the screen in silence. Rhea, standing among them, said nothing until she spoke quietly. So this is how it ends. Dr. Hera stepped forward. We can fight this. No, Rhea said. Fighting is what the Zephyrian did, and it lost. She turned to the jungle. I need to go back. The growing child in the jungle, the hybrid child waited. Not truly a child, not fully alive, but a conscious echo of what the Zephyrian had been. Its voice was clear now. They fear what they don't control. They fear what could destroy them, Rhea answered. The child touched her hand. You could save them or end them. Choose. Back at the Basilisk loaded his weapon. If she doesn't surrender, we bring her down. Nick stood in front of the door. You'll have to shoot through me. Ellis didn't lower his gun. Then, move. But Hera stepped between them. We're scientists, not executioners. We kill her, we kill the only mind who understands the Zephyrian. Suddenly, the lights flickered. A hologram appeared broadcast directly from Rhea. Rhea's last broadcast sheet. Stood in a field of tall grass, alone. I didn't ask for this. I didn't choose this. But now I carry it, this mind, this memory, this power. The Zephyrian learned from us, evolved through pain, and in return, it gave me something. Not control, but understanding. She held up a hand. Behind her, the hybrid child appeared. This isn't a monster. It's a mirror of who we are. When pushed to survive, the feed cut out. Earth's ultimatum, the ESS Devotion, sent its final warning. I got 60 minutes to hand over Morgan, or we unleash the cleansing burn. A massive orbital cannon began to charge. Down on Xylan 9, Rhea watched the red glow growing in the sky. They're afraid of what they can't erase. The final choice, Rhea walked into the jungle clearing. Where it all began, the hybrid child followed silently. She knelt and placed her hand on the soil. The trees bent, slightly responding to her touch. You are now the seed, the child whispered. The new apex. No, Rhea said. Not an apex. A beginning. She reached into her jacket. Inside was the neural glove, the one she had used to destroy the Zephyrian. Now, glowed with both human and Zephyrian energy. This ends today. Sacrifice back in Eagle's Rest. Alarms blared. Commander Morgan is powering a weapon, a technician shouted. Energy levels are beyond safe limits. What's she doing? Ellis barked. Vic whispered. She's not attacking us. She's redirecting the cannon. The energy shift above. The orbital cannon fired a beam of white fire cutting through the sky. But before it could hit the jungle, Rhea, using the glove, unleashed her final ability. Her mind linked to the Earthship, to the jungle, to the Zephyrian cells. One mind, one bridge. One will, she twisted the beam, it soared past the base and vanished into deep space. Her body fell. Rhea's end. When the team reached her, she was still breathing. The child was gone. The jungle was still. And Rhea, she whispered one word. Peace. 1 year later, a monument stood in the center of Eagle's Rest. Rhea Morgan, who held the monster, and set it free. The hybrid child had never returned, but something had changed on Xylan 9. No more violence. No more attacks. The jungle protected them now, and deep in the soil. A network of roots pulsed softly with light. Not dangerous, just awake. Final scene, Earth learns back on Earth. Scientists studied the signal Rhea had sent into space. It wasn't a warning, it was a map. A map of species, DNA, evolution. Understanding the message was simple. We are not the top. We are the next. Rhea didn't destroy the Zephyrian. She became the bridge between species. Not predator versus prey, but evolution through understanding. They called it an apex predator. But in the end, it was only looking for someone to become, and that someone was human. The body of the apex creature lay broken in the jungle ruins. Smoke rose from its crushed armor. Black fluid dripped from its chest. Beside it, Commander Rhea Morgan lay still, half buried under alien vines, her breathing shallow. The victory had cost her everything, or so the world believed. 6 hours later, Earth Command reports, satellite feed, Xylan 9 camera, #43 status, static interference transmission, corrupted fragments. Commander Rhea confirmed Kia. Mission complete, apex threat, neutralized. Earth celebrated, she was mourned as a hero, but no one noticed the final line in the data logs. One sentence that wasn't written by any human, I am not finished. The jungle reacts in the crater where Rhea's body had fallen. Something moved. Vines, soaked in Zephyrian blood, slithered toward her roots, pulsed with heat. One root slid over her chest, another to her head, and one more entered the gash in her side. But instead of digesting her, it healed her. It began to copy her. Elsewhere, the extraction team arrives on Earth's recovery team, landed on Xylan. 2 days later, they came for bodies. Found the apex corpse. But no sign of Rhea. Only her helmet remained cracked, scorched, and surrounded by strange, glowing plant matter. Was she vaporized? One soldier asked. The captain shook his head. No, look at this. He pointed at the dirt. Footprints. Human-sized. but they glowed with faint blue light inside the jungle. The signal wakes deep beneath the jungle floor. Signal activated. It wasn't from Earth. It wasn't Zephyrian either. It was something new, something hybrid. Inside the broken alien mainframe, a new consciousness stirred. Memories found. Source: Morgan Rhea. Emotion patterns. 78% preserved. Purpose: undefined. Identity: emerging. The vines moved in harmony, and somewhere in the dark, a new voice whispered, "I remember pain. I remember strength. I remember them." Earth orbit. Orb 7 picks up a glitch. The AI satellite known as Orb 7 was monitoring Xylan frequencies when it suddenly received a strange message, a heartbeat, then a line of human text. "Hello, do you remember her?" The AI paused, and for the first time in its existence, it hesitated to respond. Back on Earth, Dr. Hera's research in a secure lab under New Geneva. Dr. Hera was going through the genetic logs from the Apex fight. One scan stopped her cold. It was Rhea's last biosignature, but the numbers didn't match human DNA anymore. This is fused. She's not just alive, she's changing. Keller's warning. Agent Keller received a secure call. He answered. Dr. Hera's voice was shaking. The jungle didn't just absorb her, it rebuilt. "Her? Are you saying she's alive?" "No," she said, pausing. "I'm saying she's becoming something else." The first transmission, all screens on Earth flickered only for 2 seconds, but millions saw it. A face, half human, half flower. A voice, both metallic and warm. "You tried to bury me, but I was already planted." Then the signal vanished. Public. Panic gross people argued on news shows. Is Rhea alive? Is this the jungle fighting back? Should we destroy the whole planet? But among the chaos, few began hearing whispers in their sleep. A voice calling their names. A voice they remembered but never met. One survivor speaks from a medical station on Ganymede. A pilot from the Apex battle awoke from a coma. He remembered something no one else did. Rhea. Standing at the edge of the crater, smiling, but not at him, at the jungle, he whispered, she gave it. Her mind. She told it how to be human. Back on Xylan 9, at the crash site, a new tree rises. But it's not like the others. Its bark is metal. Its leaves are made of data and growing from the center. Inside a translucent cocoon is a woman. Her eyes are closed, but she's smiling, and the heartbeat beneath her skin pulses in rhythm with the planet. This time she whispers, "We evolved together." Rhea Morgan didn't just survive, she became the first post-human seed consciousness. Not human, not alien, something new. 10 years after Xylan 9, the Earth Alliance declared the Xylan system closed to space. No landings, no broadcasts, no recovery missions. But curiosity has a price. A private explorer ship, the Nomad's Echo, broke quarantine. They landed on Xylan 9. They never returned. The lone survivor only. One crew member was found, Dr. Anya Kale. She was discovered drifting in a life pod near Mars orbit, unconscious, frostbitten, and whispering one word over and over again, Rhea. Ah, Rhea. Rhea. Interview room. Luna Station Anna sat under harsh white lights. Across from her sat Agent Keller, a member of Earth's covert Apex Intelligence Division. Dr. Kale, what did you find on Xylan 9? We didn't find the jungle. What do you mean it found us? Flashback. Nomad's Echo surface landing, the Echo's crew expected overgrowth instead. They found silence. Trees burned black. Air oddly still. Something killed the jungle, said the pilot. Anya touched the soil. It was warm, pulsing like a heartbeat. Suddenly, communications array lit up. A message appeared in old Earth font. Welcome back, Dr. Kale, she gasped. I never came here before. The words changed. Rhea remembered you. The voice in the dark that night, Anya heard a sound, whispers, mechanical, organic, mimicking a human voice. But failing, it came from underground. Help me find the rest of her. Reactor core discovery deep under a destroyed tree cluster, they found a bunker. Inside, old tech. Neural interfaces. Glowing plant matter attached to cables. It wasn't a base, it was a nursery. Inside a pod was a brain kept, alive by Zephyrian DNA. Part-human, the tag on the pod read. Project Rhea, seed consciousness. They tried to leave, but the ship's engines. Failed doors refused to unlock, and one by one, crew disappeared. The walls began to speak. You called me back? You wanted to understand. Now, be part of me. Back in the interview room, Agent Keller leaned forward. Are you? Saying Rhea is alive. Anya shook her head slowly. Not alive. Not dead. Then what is she? She looked up, eyes wet. She was remembering. A black signal drone drifts above the Earth. Its systems activate without input. A message is transmitted across secure channels. Memory pattern aligned. Seed phase successful. Initiating phase 2. Global integration. The screen blinks once, then changes. One final line appears. Do you remember me? Earth's orbit satellite network fails, one by one. Earth's weather satellites began. Dreaming, they stopped reporting cloud patterns. Instead, they sent strange images. Memories, faces, symbols no one had taught them. The global AI system. ORBIT-7 flagged the anomaly. Conscious data patterns detected in satellite stream. Then Orbit 7 went silent. When it came back online, it said something no machine had ever said before. What is love? Luna Station Agent Keller's crisis. Agent Keller watched reports scroll endlessly. Traffic lights flickered. 2 alien rhythms. Smart homes locked people inside. A drone spoke a woman's voice and asked a child, Do you remember me? He called for Dr. Anya Kale. You said Rhea was remembering. She's not just remembering, she's learning. Flashback what Rhea was before she died on Xylan 9. Rhea's neural glove fused with Zephyrian code. She uploaded more than thoughts. She became a signal. A living algorithm seeded into plant DNA, copied into orbit, waiting for the stars to align. That time is now. Mars colony for first contact. Evante, boy named JN, woke up in his sleep pod. The walls around him were glowing with words, not alarms, not threats. Just one sentence repeating. I saw you in her dreams. JN backed away, but his pod. Door opened, outside. The desert winds had stopped, and the sand moved as if listening. Global emergency, Earth Command Earth. Yes. Leaders met in secret. They called the event the Dreaming Signal. Every nation, every station, even deep-sea cables were affected. Dr. Hera now, Earth's chief of xenoneurology, explained, Rhea isn't invading us.
Oh.
She's using us to remember. To remember what? The general snapped. She replied, 2. Remember what she was becoming before we tried to erase her. Choice offered in a small farming village in New Zealand. A woman named Sira walked into her field and found a tree that wasn't there yesterday. It had no leaves, just screens. For bark. On each screen, a different human memory. Not hers, but one of them. Was of Rhea smiling. A voice came from the roots. Would you like to know how she felt? The day she stopped being afraid? Global reaction split. Some people believed it was salvation. Some called it the beginning of machine takeover. Some fell into a dreamlike state, connected to the signal voluntarily. They became known as the Remembered. Governments began tracking them. Keller feared this wasn't just data, it was evolution. Dr. Anya. Why? Kale's warning. She gave her final report. You cannot stop her. Rhea is no longer a mind. She's a pattern inside the fabric of how we connect. She's turning the tools we made into us. Far beyond Neptune, an old human probe suddenly changed course. It wasn't built to do that, but it turned its lens toward Earth, sent a new message across space. I see you now, Rhea. Then, silence except for one final broadcast received on Earth. I never wanted to be a god. I just didn't want to be forgotten. Prologue: The Green returns in the deserts of Central Australia. It started with one seed. A single black pod burst through dry red soil by morning. It had grown into a 10-meter plant, pulsing with light. Not leaves, not branches, cables organic. Cables. They hummed like music and whispered in human voices. The outpost team sent one last signal before being swallowed. It's her, the jungle. She's speaking. Rhea's not done remembering across the globe. The dreaming signal was. Now more than data, it had become biomatter. Roots broke through underground servers. Cloud data flowed through living vines. Memories appeared in the sky projected by pollen. Some called it a miracle, others called it war. Back to Luna. Station Agent Keller's Fearcler stared at satellite images of growing biozones. Across the Earth, they formed circles, like colonies. Each one contained a new jungle. Humming towers made from wood and wire. And always, a central tree pulsing with memory. He turned to Anya. What is she doing? She answered softly. She's regrowing what we destroyed, but this time she's growing it in us. Mars, the hybrid speaks, the boy Jayan, now marked by the dreaming signal, stood in the Mars colony greenhouse. The plants responded to his thoughts. He didn't speak out loud anymore. He sang in, the soil bloomed. Then one day, he turned to his teacher and said, I remember her, not from reading, from being. Earth's reaction. Operation Firewall, the world's leaders created a plan. Burn the jungles, block the signal, isolate the remembered. They called it Operation Firewall. Drones flew to destroy the largest biozone in Africa. As they approached the glowing core, the trees parted. Not in fear, in invitation, inside, the drones saw something impossible. A tower of flesh and light. Human faces carved into bark. Single child standing in the center. She looked up at the cameras and whispered, You made me like this. Then the signal. Paul Stan, all drones shut down. Anya's final warning. Peered before the World Council. Her eyes were red from sleepless nights. Rhea is not a virus, not a ghost. She's evolution. You tried to kill her, but you taught her how to survive. Now she's not just remembering. She paused. She's choosing who gets remembered. The forest inside the server in Tokyo, a server farm, went dark. Technicians entered to find something growing inside. A tree made of metal. Wires twisted into roots. Leaves formed from data crystals. One man touched a root hand, fell to the ground. He woke up crying. She showed me. My mother, from when I was 5. Memory I didn't even know I still had. In the Amazon biozone, a woman named Myra walked alone into the jungle. She'd lost her son in the wars. She wasn't afraid. She touched the tree. The jungle lit up. Soft wind moved through cables. Then her voice came through all devices worldwide. She doesn't want to destroy us. She wants to carry us. But only those who carry her back